With a mission to lower global emissions by safely sequestering CO2 and producing emission-free geothermal power, the company TERRACOH wishes to make their way to the Peace Garden State. As we last reported, looking at the resources North Dakota has to offer, many believe this would be a great place to get into geothermal energy. TERRACOH sequesters millions of tons of CO2 below ground in deep saline formations while incorporating power systems above ground to produce power.
Our process involves drilling wells. So this would be associated with CO2 injection wells that are similar to what is being put in place for carbon sequestration projects, where our technology comes into play with cycling stored CO2 in the surface back to the surface. Our developments would also include CO2 production wells from that same location in order for us to establish a system that can cycle the energy from the stored CO2.
Bohan tells KX News that if the state of North Dakota did dive into geothermal energy, then it could mean a lot and possibly be something big.
Our technology, directly supports the advancement of geothermal energy in the state. I think many stakeholders in the state see geothermal energy as an amazing opportunity. Coupling that potential with CO2 that's being put into the ground with sequestration unlocks another avenue that the state can become a leader in advancing renewable energy. Ultimately, our technology is perfectly suited for the state's goal to be carbon neutral by 2030. And we look to be able to leverage the state's amazing geologic resources to expand emission-free power systems to multiple sites across the state.
So, to the company, the process of injecting CO2 below ground can be circulated to extract heat, which is how geothermal energy works. That extracted heat can turn turbines to generate power. But when people hear about projects involving pipes underground like geothermal energy, the question continues to arise. What if something goes wrong?
What happens if something happens underground? If there's a leak, if, something busts, what happens then?
Yeah, the carbon sequestration permitting process is quite extensive and takes more than a year to complete. It actually could take 2 years or more to take all the necessary steps to ensure that the CO2 storage operation is safe and reliable. So that whole process is designed to ensure that any scenarios of leakage to surface or anything else below ground with adverse consequences to the community, that they're not in existence for that particular project. The other side of that is there is extensive monitoring and operational surveillance of these injection systems. And that is your on-the-spot validation that your sequestration operation is going according to the plan that it was developed upon. So it is not likely that a sequestration project would have a unsafe condition going on for a period of time without any knowledge as to it taking place.
He shares that the projects often go under a few landowners' quote, poor land. He says in those cases, easements are made and open communication occurs. Bohan says geothermal energy projects are typically deeper than 5,000 feet, and his company is currently looking at sites across the state that could go as deep as 10,000 feet, all the way to the bottom of the porous formation that can be used for the geological storage of CO2. No project sizes have been ruled out at this point.